Jay McLean, baby.
I'm so proud to see family, a literal family, blood family coming on. That is amazing. Winston Belgam, I see you. Can you hear me? You're going to have to turn your mic on. Unmute. Yep, there we go. And Mary Belgam as well. So this is my sister and my cousin. So they both are extremely entrepreneurial and inspiring. So welcome. You've been hearing and listening to Maskia, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you.
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, Mary. How are you? Go, Mary. Introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Hi, my name's Mary. I'm so sorry I don't have my camera on at this point. I've got a little baby and I'm in a bit of a position at this point. But nevertheless, my name's Mary. I'm Stella's sister, Stella's elder sister. A mum of 4, and I would describe myself probably as a mumpreneur. Have my hands in several pies, namely property and real estate. But I also am in the process of setting up a restaurant or a takeaway restaurant with my sister and my brother. I also have a beauty business selling high-end eyewear, including lashes and things like that. And I also am branching into opening my own estate agency or property consultancy service. So that's kind of what I do at the moment. I'm always looking for an opportunity. So always networking and that kind of thing. So yeah, great to be part of the show today and what you guys are doing. I think it's absolutely mega. Just seeing the of beautiful melanated individuals that are just so down for the cause. It just always fills me with such positivity and hope for the future. So yeah.
Fantastic, sis. Please make sure you do put your details in the chat. You do want the name of the businesses you just mentioned, so people can support. Remember, we talked about making notes. So even if we're broke today, and next week we might have some cash, participate in supporting what you're doing. And then Vincent as well.
Oh, hi everybody. I'm Stella's cousin, Stella and Mary's cousin. It's my name's Win Belgam. I'm a project finance lawyer, so that's what I do with my day job. I kind of help businesses and organizations, governments just sort of build things, like hospitals, schools, motorways and stuff. And but in my spare time over the years, I've been basically investing in, I guess, businesses that serve our community. I think that's the best way to put it. And it's just really grateful to be invited today. And
really you're so modest every single time. He's so modest. We really can't afford that right now. We need you to upsell. He actually also started another TV. It's very important to understand about media power. Okay, and gotKushTV and both My Millennium TV are going to be working, very closely together. So, just tell us a little bit about My Millennium TV.
Okay, yeah, no problem at all. And look, I'm a big believer that the reason that some of the issues that we sometimes face as a people, as a Black community, is that we don't necessarily always have like the voice to say our story. Other people like to take our story for their own purposes. And so over the years, many years ago, basically, I bought a television channel called Millennium TV. It wasn't called Millennium TV at the time, but what it was doing is that they were making films of all these like rich white people. And I thought, why can't they just make the same quality films of my people? Does that make sense? Whether they're just Black people, like different stories. So I thought about it. Then I saved up for it and I bought this channel. and basically that's what Millennium TV is. It just sort of tells positive stories of communities. It's not just black stories; it's about stories that resonate. So we've got a lot, as Stella was saying, there's a lot of things in common, a lot of value systems in common with what gotKush are trying to do. I like the team, and yeah, I'm really excited about how that's all going to work out going forward, because Millennium is doing some awesome things. I've owned it for about 10 years now, and probably want to own it for another 10, 15, 20 years, you know, so we're not going anywhere.
Just quickly, Win, that's so brilliant. I just wanted you to interact with Marcia a bit, because you've done a lot of traveling over the years yourself. So yeah, just did you have any questions for Marcia in particular about, you know, her experience living in the UAE?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really interesting because one of our biggest partners that's backed the channel is the government of Qatar. Okay. We recently signed with Al Jazeera to so Al Jazeera,
brilliant.
Al Jazeera sort of give us a lot of all their news, all their international news.
Fantastic.
And I just they give us some of their films as well. We've got about 5,000 to 6,000 films.
Great, we've got family in the building.
And I just wanted to check: how are you finding the experience of stories being told about Black people, Black women in the UAE? I know it's there's a lot of change needing to happen there quickly, but I'd love to hear whether you feel like your narratives are starting to be heard a lot more.
Definitely, I would say I'm an advocate of that myself, and so I feel that our voices are heard. And personally, I am heavily involved in ensuring that voices are heard. I think it's important. You know, we can't remain silent anymore, and so the doors are definitely open for that to be a possibility now, more so.
Because one of the reasons I asked that question is that what I found is that I feel like the UAE, just looking at the way that Anthony Joshua chose and Ruiz chose Saudi Arabia and to go and box, I just feel like there is another way to sometimes fund and support some of the things we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Sort of hanging around and waiting for some of our neighbours.
Yeah.
You know, not black. You know what I mean? I'm just simply saying that I've always found that the door's always been open to my brothers and sisters in the Middle East, to me, even more than in Africa, where I'm from.
Yeah, I hear that.
I'm not
that's very
positive.
Wow.
I'd love to hear how you feel about that experience on your side.
To be honest, I don't know if it's. I hear you. I think that it's something that needs attention, for sure. I personally haven't faced the backlash of that, so I can't really comment from that perspective. But I do know that what you're saying is something that definitely, you know, needs to be addressed on a deeper level, for sure.
Yeah. That's okay. So what we're saying is, you know, there are more opportunities seemingly in the Middle East for Black brothers and sisters than on the African continent, which means that there's a lot more tied hands and bureaucracy that's going on on the motherland, the whole of the motherland. So it's something we're working on. I know Ghana, for example, last year we had the year of return. I have a guest, aren't we, Sister Ree, who's going to talk about their experience in Ghana in terms of business. So there are things being shifted and changed. COVID-19 has interrupted some of that. We were supposed to have the Beyond the Year of Return, and I know the revenue generated last year was absolutely fantastic. And it's about you know, their current president is seemingly on it. You may have a different insight, Win, to what I'm thinking with that, but I think gradually people are cottoning on, and the mainland of the motherland is waking up. I don't know. What do you think when I say that? Then what's your opinion?
What do I think?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the returnee, if you want, program, I think is fantastic. My starting point is that we're in a moment where we're looking at what some of these countries that are basically our adoptee countries have done or not done for us as a community. But I think that in addition to that, it'd be really good to sort of shine light on the countries where we all come from and see what are they doing to build relationships and harness their diaspora, if you know what I mean. And I think that if they put a little bit more economic or political or diplomatic pressure on some of the countries where we all reside, I think you would actually get a lot more situation. That's my humble opinion. Okay,
I love that. Thank you. Sorry, I just want to say, sis, did you want to enjoy? Courtney O'Shea on as well. Greetings.
Greetings, Courtney. I definitely agree with what Winston has just said, and that's something that I've spent many a night and a day having very long conversations about how we can kind of connect as diasporans with back home, because it seems to be a collective kind of awakening perhaps with our sisters and brothers back home, and that strength when we're talking about ourselves over here. We're a small percentage if you're really thinking about the ratios and the numbers economically, as much as we have a big spending power. But if you're talking about collectively what we can do when we have underpinning from what's going on back home, I think that's where we become, a force to be reckoned with. Politically, we have a voice. We have almost like the parent figure behind the children that are out there in the world, trying to maneuver ourselves through this business. So I myself have connected with a lot of people that are doing stuff back home. I've teamed up on a project with a company called Solar Grow. That's just one of the projects we're doing in the Volta region in Ghana. And that's trying to stop so basically tomatoes, as you know, are a big commodity in Africa. But what happens with tomatoes is we send them out of Africa to Italy to be tinned and then sold back to Africans at a high price, which makes absolutely no sense when we have the facility and certainly the manpower and women power to do that back home. We can do this and build these fantastic corporations back home and keep that money keep that money at home so that we can build, so that we can become a place where you can say, right, I can't get a loan in the UK, but I can get a loan in Africa. I can get a loan back home to help me build what I need to build in the UK. Why can't we start thinking that way? So I definitely think that is a key part of what we're trying to do. There is definitely a line there that needs to be explored, and I know there are many brothers and sisters out there doing that, and I just hope to see it grow.
I would also like to kind of add to that conversation. With the work I used to do with the Global Institute for Entrepreneurship, I was fortunate enough to participate on a few platforms, especially with the African Union. And these conversations about the diaspora, has been spoken about time and time again. And one of the challenges that is quite paramount here is who's getting access to those funds that are there for businesses to access to do business in Africa, to grow in Africa. Because what's happening as well, there are a lot of contracts that our people could access, but it's who are accessing those contracts. what you'll find, there are a lot of people from different parts of the world, yes, who are going into Africa and they do not look like us.
Right.
Yeah. When you go to, you know, I participated in a few trade conferences and, you know, initiatives. You know, I will go in and there'll probably be 150 people sitting in there. I'll look around and where are our people? There's nobody that looks like me that's sitting in this conference where they're speaking about initiatives about Africa. So there are things happening, and one of the things that we, you know, I think we spoke about earlier on is about information. I think information is crucial here, because what happens is at times is these conferences happen weekly, monthly, it's happening all the time.
Yeah.
And what happens is they do it in such a way that they outpace us. They create barriers so that you can't engage with the continent for whatever reason. So, you know, sometimes we have to kick down doors and push down barriers, because what is happening out there, you know, business is thriving out there. Our family on the continent want to do business with us, but they don't see us on a certain level, on a platform, because we are not having exposure to that platform. And there was a guest I was hoping he would come in later on from Kumasi, Ghana, and I wanted him to shed some light on this for us, because he has an initiative in Kumasi that is doing fantastic work in developing the capacity of the SMEs in that particular region. And one of the things that I was working with them on is how to do business with the diaspora. And that's what he wants to do. But there's no exposure. He's not exposed, because all he sees are predominantly European white men. So as far as he's concerned, we ain't doing business. So there is different levels of conversations that need to take place now. And we need people, for example, the union, you know, they need to recognize the diaspora. And start giving out these contracts to white European men.
Absolutely. So sorry.
We need the opportunity to grow and participate and get involved.
So I'm getting a call from the leader of the gotKushTV, but we do have a schedule. I just wanted to, sorry to interrupt you, sorry.
I just feel very passionate about what you're saying, because we are
great point.
And it's a very valid point. I'm glad we have
we need to participate, and there's so many barriers that's stopping us from doing so.
And I think one of the key things is the fact that this platform is here, and there are several platforms that we can highlight these issues and then make sure that people are actually connected to the solution. Sister Kai has joined us back, but we do have to run and stick to the schedule. I'm not sure if Diaspora Stocks, another business, is on and ready to come on yet. But in the meantime, do want to shout out to Sister Kai, who's joined us back again. How are you doing?
Hi.
Sorry, technical difficulties, but we push forward, we move. You know, it's great. I was listening to the stream, and there's been some amazing points that's been highlighted. So it's amazing to hear that we're all on the same page.
You know, I think there was a comment about access and finance as well. You know, and you know, again, I think I like to personally say I think we need to be very creative. And as the brother said, is you know, sometimes we may need to shift ourselves. So if we're having struggles here, for example, in the UK, then look elsewhere. Because one of the things that I've come to realize, especially working in Saudi Arabia, I've been in Saudi Arabia for 2 years, the amount of opportunities, it's quite interesting, because we hear a lot about what's going on in the Middle East, especially in regards to us as Black folks. But what actually happens also is, unfortunately, there is what we could probably call a pecking order. Yeah, those who are there, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So when you go over to somewhere like Saudi Arabia, yeah, and I'm purposely saying what I'm saying, the way I'm saying it, right? That you will find that people are actually interested in what you have to say and more willing to do business with you, because these markets are emerging markets, you know, and it's if you got a good viable idea, because the thing is, those regions you can't do business on your own. You have to have a partner. And if you find the right partner, if you're in the right settings, you'd be surprised how you can forge relationships. So, you know, one thing I've learned about stepping outside of Europe and living in the Middle East for the time I've had is you know, you need to be bold. Yeah, you'd be surprised who's out there where doors are closed for you in the UK, other doors are open for you from other parts of the world.
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
I mean, what do you think?
I was just going to say, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. I think for me, I've been here 3.5 years and I didn't plan to come for that long. But in coming here, I actually feel a bit more British being in the UAE than I have, you know, my entire life in the UK. So I think we need to kind of highlight, you need to go where you are celebrated and not stay where you are tolerated. And, you know, for me, coming here and being amongst such a wide array of nationalities, the UAE alone has about 200 different nationalities. And if you're here with a British passport, that has a lot of weight. So coming here, speaking English, you know, especially English teachers, there's so many English teachers here from different countries. But if you are a British English teacher, as opposed to perhaps maybe someone from Egypt or someone from Australia or New Zealand, you are held in high regards and you can get so many opportunities and great packages, you know, than you would if you were in the UK. So, you know, it depends, because I came here as a musician and a creative, but even starting a business here, now it's opened up and you don't always have to have a local. You can start a business in a free zone. So there are still a few, you know, tricky restrictions and stuff, but if you start in a free zone, you have 100% ownership. So you own the business and you don't have to have a local sponsor involved. And you can do so many things that open it up, and they're very, very welcoming of having a mixed community. I mean, I thought London was diverse, but coming here, it's so, so diverse. And as a Black Westerner, you are welcomed. So definitely, I think if you're thinking about traveling and you want to come to the Middle East, explore and come out here, because there's a lot of British, a lot of Americans, and I've met more Africans here than I have anywhere else in the world growing up in London. So, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Wim.
Okay, thank you. I think the topic of access to finance and financial literacy is one of the things that is at the core of our communities sort of standing up. The biggest issue I've found is that the financial literacy has become a commoditizable product. And people are, when you talk about development, James Brown used to say about show business, you've got the show and you've got the business. It's kind of the same with development, right? Yeah, which is what Madam Ari was saying, you know, which is like, basically, you've got the development that's needed, then you've got the business of development. And the business of development is basically to try and suppress as many people to a position where they are eternally students and keep an elitism of the few who are the teachers, so that they have got a bankable business plan that they can, do you know what I mean, go and speak to Mary to get their mortgage or buy their property. And my point is that is the sort of, so there's been a politicization of our condition, which everybody knows that if you're like trained, if you go to school in Nigeria, even for like 1 year or 2 years, you've got to pass home economics and agriculture as part of the curriculum. So you know the difference between your sort of different soils. You know you know what a cash crop is. You know what a staple crop is. You know where your farming board should be. Does that make sense? Whether you can read or write. And everybody knows that there's millions of farmers out of Africa who've got like 5 or 6 kids who have sent their kids to all over the world to study. Does that make sense? And they've never walked into a bank. They're just rolling deep with the cash they've got because they're not stupid. But those sorts of narratives are somehow politicized or made out to be like we the white guy or we the Indian guy knows better.
Yeah.
And we allow ourselves, unfortunately, as part of some sort of post-colonial trance to say, yeah, you do, we're going to attribute a premium to your knowledge, even though our civilizations have been there since.
Yeah.
So that's all quite deep. It's a Saturday afternoon, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's kind of,
Yeah.
these are some of the things we need to
Why is it? Sorry, I just want to jump in quickly, yeah, and drop the biggest ashes, amens, hallelujahs, and all the above, yeah. No, seriously. I don't want people to underestimate like the levels, yeah, that the brother just dropped, yeah, like on the panel. When he said, yeah, you've got development, yeah, and then you've got the business of development, yeah, and everything that he said, fam, I want people to tune into what the man just said, yeah, in terms of when you look at solutions to problems that become commodities for business in and of themselves. And so the business associated with the solution actually becomes another means of subjugating the people that are supposed to, fam, levels, yeah? Like, I just want to appreciate, yeah? You lot are blessed right about now, family, yeah? You know what I'm saying? Like, for the levels that we're bringing through, I just want you to know that, innit, yeah? Now, that's the first thing. The second thing is, we got questions coming through for the speakers, yeah? So there's two things going on. There is a robust conversation happening in the chat between people in the chat, but there's also questions for the panelists, yeah? So if you've got a question for the panelists, please at gotKushTV, okay? Please at gotKushTV so that we can see it big, loud, and large and in charge, and we'll bring you through. Sorry, Stella, for putting you in the back like that, but I just had to bring the ashe, you know what I'm saying, from Brother Winston, because he was preaching the good word to the ancestors, and you know what I'm saying, and I'll let him something there. So yeah, give him facts.
bless you, man.
Oh, dear.
This is the Cypher, and these are our lovely panelists. African versus Caribbean versus British.
I'll say from African, but no, you're not.
Everyone's Africanness comes innately.
I went to Jamaica earlier this year, and I know I'm not Jamaican. They don't look at me as Jamaican.
Yeah.
I don't like people just wearing a dashiki and wearing stuff and just saying, yeah, I'm African now. That's very fake to me.
You protect people, wanna claim Africa, like it's some superior, something. This being a semicircle, and you, the audience, completing the circle.